Hello everyone. In this session, I'm going to discuss about the sun protection and sunscreen products. Coming to the sun protection, so every skin type it needs some sun protection to prevent the photoaging and wrinkles, to prevent the skin cancer, and to prevent hyperpigmentation and brown spots. Okay, so whenever any person will be come in contact with the sunlight or exposed to sunlight more time, definitely there is a chance of photoaging, wrinkles in the skin, skin cancer, hyperpigmentation means more production of or more synthesis of melanin, which is a natural pigment in our skin. So hyperpigmentation, and because of that, the skin become black. Okay, so there's a chance of hyperpigmentation and there's an appearance of brown spot. So those are the problems that anyone can face if any person be exposed more time to sunlight. Okay, so we can use those sunscreen product which will mainly protect us with from these particular problems. Okay, and those problems will mainly arise because of the UV rays. So UV rays, normally we know that it is having in various wavelengths. So and UV rays, it will be causing various therapeutic effect as well as the noxious effect for our skin. Okay, but the UV rays whose wavelength is less, below 320. So normally the lower wavelength is making higher intensity, and those only mainly cause harmful effect for the skin. The UV rays which is having a higher wavelength is having less intensity and it will cause less harmful for the skin. Now UV rays we can divide into in three types, that is an UVC, UVB and UVA. Now UVA it is very less harmful compared to UVB and UVC. The UVA will not blocked by window glass, even it can easily penetrate if anyone wearing the light cloth. Okay, so it can penetrate and come in contact with the skin, and it can easily penetrate deeper into the skin, and there will be long term effect will be there, but the effect will be not harmful compared to UVB and UVC. Now coming to UVB, so B implies here as a burn. So any person who is exposed to sunlight, mainly UVB, so that causes sunburn. Okay, so UVB rays mainly it will not come to our skin in higher because of the cloud. The cloud it will cover this UVB, means because of the cloud cover, the UVB rays it will not come in contact our skin more compared to the UVA, because UVA is an properties that it can easily penetrate even glass, even cloth, even cloud. It can easily penetrate through that and it will come easily in contact with our skin. But UVB it can't penetrate that much compared to UVA. So that's why if any cloud is there, the cloud cover it will provide some protection for us so that the UVB rays it will not come directly to our skin more. Okay, so as there will be an suppose in a summer or in particular season when there is a cloud is suppose, then we are mainly protect from UVB rays. If there is a no cloud and directly we are exposed to sunlight, then definitely the UVB rays it will come in contact with our skin and it will causes sunburn. Okay, so that's why UVB rays it intensities varies in different time, whether it is a time of the day. Suppose in that midday there will be more intensity because of less cloud or because of the time, so there will be more intensity of UVB rays. Okay, then season, definitely in rainy season and in summer season, if you compare these two, rainy season is having more cloudy, so that's why that cloud it will protect us from UV rays. But in summer season, then there'll be less cloud, so that's why we're not protected from that. So UVB rays can come in contact with our skin more compared to the rainy season. Now weather also very much effective. Definitely weather, as I told, rainy season and in uh, dry season or summer season. So the time of the day, the season, the weather, that will be very much effective for intensity of the UVB rays. So intensity of the UVB rays, it will be depend on the time of the day, the season and weather. Coming to the UVC, it will be absorbed by the Earth atmosphere and by ozone layer, and because of that, it will not directly come in contact with our skin. It will be very much harmful for the skin. It can damage DNA also. Okay, definitely it will cause cancer, skin cancer. But the UVC rays, it will be most of the UVC it will be absorbed by the Earth atmosphere, mainly ozone layer. Okay, so it will be more dangerous compared to UVA and UVB. So if we'll keep it aside as an UVC, so our sunscreen product, okay, so it will mainly used to protect us from UVA and UVB. Okay, sunscreen product. So there is one screen will be there. Okay, whenever we apply a product, sunscreen product, it will given screen. Okay, so screen means here can two things we can say, that it will be directly protect us from the sunlight, or it will screen means it will, you can say, then sieving means it will be allowing something and it will retaining something. If we'll screen, suppose there will be screening, the screening is there. Suppose we are there are in suppose in mixture of some ingredients. Okay, mixture of some ingredients in various sizes. So whenever you screen that one, it means that something will be allowing and something will be retaining. Okay, so the sunscreen product also, it will be work in that cases also, that we'll discuss in the next slide about the mechanism. So it can screen or it can filter those UV rays. Okay, mainly suppose the higher wavelength, which will be not harmful for our skin, those can be allowed, and the less wavelength, it will be retained on the sunscreen, or it will be reflecting back. Okay, it will be not allowing the lower wavelength to pass and come in contact with the skin. So whenever you're applying the sunscreen product, it will make a layer over the skin, so that it will be reflecting back that UV rays, or the product itself, it will be absorbing that particular rays, so that it will protect our skin. Okay, so our main concentration is protect the skin from UVA rays and UVB rays. The most of the thing is mainly to protect the skin from UVB rays. Okay. Now the UVB rays, it mainly causes for and sunburn and tanning. Okay, so skin tan means more production of melanin, and there'll be skin become very black and brown in color. The natural color of the skin will not be there; it will be gone because of the more synthesis of melanin, or hyperpigmentation. Okay, so UVB rays is mainly causes that sunburn and tanning. Okay, so therefore the sunscreen efficacy is predominantly directed against the UVB radiation. Already I said that UVC, if we'll keep it aside as it is an absorbed by the atmosphere, if we'll take the UVA and B, UVA is not that much of higher intensity. UVA. Okay, so main intensity is an UVB rays. So our main aim is to protect the skin from UVB rays. Okay, even UVB rays, it can cause immunosuppressive, mutagenic, and carcinogenic effect. Okay, so the mutagenic, that is called the capable of uh, inducing the capable of inducing the genetic mutation. Okay, capable of inducing the genetic mutation. And immunosuppressive, that is suppress the activity of immune system. Okay, so UV rays can causes immunosuppressive and mutagenic and carcinogenic effect. Okay, now coming to the UVA rays mainly effective when there is an exposure for a long duration. If any person will be exposed to UV rays for longer time, then only it can cause some effect. If any person will be exposed to UV rays for less time, it will be not that much of harmful. Okay, so UVA will be regulates the formation of matrix metalloproteinase. There is one type of enzyme, okay, that degrade the proteins elastin and collagen. So in our skin there is an elastin is there and collagen is there, both are protein. So elastin is mainly useful for making the skin elasticity. I mean, suppose if we'll press our skin, then whenever we remove our finger it will come to its original place or original shape. It is because of the elasticity of the skin, and our skin become it's having some strength. It is because of the collagen. So both are in protein, which is very important for our skin, elastin and collagen. Okay, so UVA rays, when any person will be exposed to sunlight or exposed to UVA rays for long time, okay, there is a formation of certain enzyme. Okay, that enzyme is called metalloproteinase. So that enzyme it will degrade that elastin and collagen. Okay, so once the collagen and elastin will be degrade, once our skin protein it will be degrade, so definitely the skin it lost its elasticity and lost its strength, so there will be wrinkles will come. Okay, so there is a problem with UV A rays. Okay, even UVA rays it can impair, or you can say it can damage the antigen presenting cell activity of epidermal cell. Okay, and it can causes, because of that it can causes immunosuppression. Okay, and definitely will be contributing in the growth of skin cancer. Okay, so it will be impair or it can damage the antigen presenting cell activity in epidermal cell. Okay, so if it will be damage that, then there is a chance of immunosuppression. Okay, the activity of the immune system will be decreased. Why? Because of the damage of the antigen presenting cell activity. Okay, and further it can cause skin cancer. Okay, so now UVB rays it will be mainly causing sunburn and suntan effect, as well as it can cause mutagenic, carcinogenic and immunosuppressive. Now coming to UVA mainly it will be the effect, or you can say the harmful effect of UVA. It can happen when only when a person will or she will be long time exposure to UV rays. Okay, so if any person will expose to UV rays for a long time, then there is a certain effect will be there. What are the effect? First, there is a formation of certain enzymes like metalloproteinase enzyme. That enzyme it will degrade the elastin and collagen, those protein which are mainly very important for our skin. So those protein will be degraded by that enzyme formation. And second one is that UVA it will damage the antigen presenting cell activity in epidermal cell, which can causes immunosuppression, and further it can cause skin cancer. Okay, now exposure to UVA it will remain constant, means it effect will be there, the harmful effect will be there for a long time. But UVB it will be mainly occur in summer or in particular season. Already I said, in particular weather or time or season, in that time only UVB it will be more effective, because when there will be less cloudy, then the UV rays B rays it will directly it will come in contact with our skin. Okay, now the effect, what are the problem that anyone can face for UVB rays? That sunburn, definitely photoaging, skin cancer, okay, and definitely other skin problems or disorders. Now to protect the skin from all these harmful effects like sunburn or photoaging or wrinkles or skin cancer, so all these problems can be inhibited, or the skin it can be protected by using sunscreen preparation or sunscreen product. Now How can define a sunscreen product? A sunscreen product, also known as a sunblock or suntan preparations, are it can be in lotion type, it can be in spray, it can be in gel, or any other product which can be used topically, which will be absorb or reflect the UV rays and protect the skin. Okay, so it can be any dosage form. Okay, mainly it will be liquid, okay, or semi-solid, which can be easily applied to our skin. Okay, so that particular liquid or semi-solid dosage form like lotion, spray, gel, or any other topical preparation, whenever you apply it, it will absorb the product, it will absorb. It is not that the skin will absorb the UV ray, the product itself it will absorb or reflect that UV radiation, and then it will protect the skin. That is a sunscreen preparation or sunscreen products. Now coming to the next slide. So this is the main important part of a sunscreen preparation. What are the main principles or what are the mechanism involved in sunscreen preparation? Mean how the sunscreen product or a sunscreen agent, okay, or sunscreen substance, how it will work. Means how whether it will absorb, whether it reflecting back. So how the sunscreen product it will work to protect our skin. Okay, the first one is if we apply the sunscreen product, the product can be in gel type or it can be in spray type, it can be in lotion type, any other type. So whenever those particular type of sunscreen product we applied in our skin, first it can make a protective layer over the skin. Okay, a protective layer over the skin, and because of that the UV rays, whenever it will come in contact with that particular product, that the UV rays it will get absorbed, and or it will get reflecting back. Okay, so now if suppose in skin, whenever we applied a sunscreen product, whenever we apply, there is a protective layer will form over the skin, and because of the protective layer, okay, that layer, that protective layer, it will absorb that UV rays, okay, or it reflecting back that UV rays. So that's why our skin will become protected. So that's why it will call as a protective layer. Okay, to make a protective layer, this is the layer, protective layer. So that layer it will absorb the UV rays or reflecting back. Okay, certain examples like zinc oxide, titanium dioxide having those tendency or tendency by absorbing or reflecting properties. Okay, so these are first one. Now second one is to incorporate some substances which will be mainly absorbing the medium UV rays, allowing the higher wavelength. Okay, so whenever you apply a sunscreen preparation with an other type, okay, whenever you apply the sunscreen preparation, there are certain ingredients are there or present in that preparation which will be mainly absorbing the medium rays. Okay, the medium rays or the higher wavelength. Okay, so mainly the higher wavelength, it will not harmful for the skin. So that's why those sunscreen preparations or the sunscreen product, it will allow the higher wavelength to pass to the skin, and the medium wavelength or the less wavelength it will absorb by that particular product. Okay, so whenever we apply the sunscreen preparation, okay, that preparation it will absorb, okay, that product absorb, is not the skin, the product or that layer it will absorb the medium wavelength rays or less wavelength rays, but it will allow the higher wavelength rays to penetrate to enter in our skin, because you know that UV rays it having some advantage or positive effect or therapeutic effect for skin. Okay, so that's why those preparations or certain preparations it will allow the higher wavelength to pass, but it will absorb the medium wavelength and less wavelength UV rays. Okay, the example is oxybenzone and tinozole M. So those are the sunscreen agent. So those agents, if will present in your preparation, okay, so it can be, already I said, it can be in cream or gel or spray or lotion. So this is the product. So in that type of preparation or in that type of formulation, if suppose oxybenzone is present, so that oxybenzone, what he'll do, he will allow the higher wavelength to pass and the medium wavelength or lower wavelength he will absorb. Okay. Now third one is, if suppose any person having already exposed to sunlight and he is suffering from a sunburn, so that liberates the histamine in the tissues. Okay, so because of that we have to use some antihistamines to avoid the inflammation. So in that case it is how to protect. So if the person is already get affected by sunburn, if suppose any person exposed to sunlight in longer time, and that person will be already affected by sunlight, or you can say sunburn. Okay, so that sunburn, it will be leverage the histamine. Okay, and it causes inflammation. So after that we have to use some antihistamines to avoid those inflammations. Example like various hydrocarbons or fluorocarbons. Okay, to treat that sunburn. Okay, the fourth one is accelerating the tanning. You know that whenever the melanin production will increase, or more synthesis of melanin or hyperpigmentation, there is an more protection for the skin, because melanin is a natural pigment which will mainly protect our skin from sunburn or from harmful effect of the sun. So what we can do, if we'll synthesize the melanin more, then definitely the protection of the skin also it will increase. Okay, if melanin synthesize more, as the melanin it will give and protect for the skin. If the synthesis of melanin will increase, then ultimately it will protect the skin more. Okay, so increase the melanin synthesis is nothing but an tanning, skin tanning. Okay, so how it will be possible? It will be possible by two way. First one, by using of dio dioxyacetone. So whenever any preparation, any sunscreen preparation having dioxyacetone, the dioxyacetone it will make a brown complex with the keratin which is present in the skin. Already I said keratin is a substance which will be mainly present in the epidermis or in the skin, and it will be production by keratinocytes. Okay, keratinocytes is the cell which will mainly produce keratin. So the dioxyacetone it will combine with keratin, and there is a formation of the brown complex, means tanning. So because of the tanning it will protect the skin. The second one is the using of 8-methoxysorelin. So this is an one type of active substance, or you can say the drug. That drug we have to take orally. It is not topically, but we have to take orally in the dose of 10 to 20 mg, 2 hours before exposure to sun, to avoid the sunburn. Means any person, suppose he wants to go out and he have to work for longer time, and definitely he has to expose to sun for more time. So at the time whenever he is going out, 2 hours before you have to take that drug orally in a dose of 10 to 20 mg. Okay, so whenever he take that 2 hours before, then within that 2 hours there is an melanin production, or you can say tanning will be there. So because of the tanning, after 2 hours if you will go outside also, will protect from the sunburn because of the acceleration of the tanning. Okay, so there is then two things. One is the use of dioxyacetone and use of 8-methoxysorolene. Dioxyacetone definitely topically and 8-methoxysorolene internally in a dose of 10 to 20 mg. Okay, so that two method we can use to accelerate the tanning, and that tanning only it will cause or it will mainly protect our skin. Okay, so this is the main principle of sunscreen product. So mainly there is a four type is there. There is a first one is protective layer, making an protective layer, and because of this layer, the UV rays it will get absorbed or reflecting back. Okay, mainly zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. If those are present in the product, those can absorb or reflect back this UV rays. Okay, second one is there is a certain substance like suppose oxybenzone. It will be present in your sunscreen product. Once you apply those sunscreen product having oxybenzone, so the UV rays mainly the medium rays wavelength that will be absorbed by that oxybenzone or by this sunscreen product, and it will allow the higher wavelength to pass in the skin. Okay, third one is if any person is already get affected by UV rays and is suffering from sunburn, so then we have to use an antihistamine to avoid the inflammation or to avoid the sunburn. Okay, fourth one is to accelerate the tanning. If we accelerate the tanning of the skin, it will protect the skin. So how we accelerate the tanning or how we can make the skin tan is by the two method. One is use of dioxyacetone, okay, which will make an brown complex react with that keratin. And second one is 8-methoxysorolene. We can take orally with the dose of 10 to 20 mg 2 hours before exposure to sun. That also it will accelerate the tanning. Okay, so this is the four mechanism how the sunscreen product will work. Now, what is the ideal characteristics of an sunscreen substance, sunscreen ingredients, or sunscreen product? Okay, already I said the product or the formulation, it can be any type, like suppose gel type or cream type, or suppose spray type or lotion type. In that formulation, there should be a particular substance which is having that sunscreen effect. Okay, like suppose already I said that zinc oxide, okay, then oxybenzone. So those are the substance which should be present in the product. Those are the sunscreen substance or sunscreen ingredients. Now any sunscreen preparations or sunscreen product, it should be certain characteristics. Okay, the first one is it should absorb the light or UV light or sunlight in the range of 280 to 320. Okay, that wavelength it should absorb or even reflect back. Second one, resistance to water, means once it will be applied, it doesn't mean that if suppose any water is in come in contact with the skin, that sunscreen effectiveness it will be reduced. It should not be like that. It should be resistant to water, means after applying that sunscreen product, if suppose any water or any exposure to water will be there, so that water it should not cause that sunscreen product to drain out, means it should be resistance to water. Then it should be stable to heat, light, and perspiration. Okay, so definitely if anyone will apply the sunscreen product, and it will be definitely will be going outside, because of that only he'll use the sunscreen product. So once it will be going out and exposed to sunlight or exposed to heat, that sunscreen product once what will be applied, it should be stable on that particular temperature, particular heat. Definitely it should be stable to light and stable to perspiration. Means once any person will be going outside, definitely there is a chance that the sweat or the sebum, the oil substance which is present in our skin, so that will be released, okay, or that will be come out. Any person can be get sweat, okay, or perspiration. So that sunscreen product, it should be stable on that perspiration also. So it should be stable to heat, it should be stable to light, it should be stable to perspiration of the skin. Okay, next it should be preferably odorless. Okay, if suppose any odor or suppose is there mild odor, it should be accepted by the user, whoever is used. And next it should be non-toxic, non-irritant and non-sensitizing. Definitely whenever any person will be applied that sunscreen preparation, definitely he should not be feel any sensitization or any irritation. Next, capable of retaining the sunscreening property for several hours. So once any person will be applying the sunscreen preparation and he'll be going outside and exposure to sun for longer time. Okay, so the effectiveness of that sunscreen preparation, it should be there for a long time. It doesn't mean that whenever anyone will apply, will be going outside and just after 1 hour that effectiveness will be not there for that sunscreen preparation. The effectiveness of the sunscreen preparation or effectiveness of that sunscreen ingredient, it should be there for and several hours for longer time. Okay. Next, it should be stable under conditions of use. So any conditions of suppose any particular weathers or particular season, particular temperature, particular skin condition, suppose oily skin or suppose in dry skin. So any conditions, it should be same effect. Okay, and it should be stable in any condition of the use. Next, non-stain, it should not be give any stain or any color spot in the clothes. Next, not be rapidly absorbed. The product whenever you apply to the skin it should not absorb that product or that particular sunscreen ingredient, because whenever you apply the sunscreen preparation, the product or the sunscreen ingredient, it should be present over the skin. It should not be absorbed, because once it will be absorbed in the skin, it will not give its effect on skin, because ultimately the product or that particular ingredient, it should be present over the skin, then only it will give its effect. So it should not be absorbed by the skin. Okay, next is the be natural. It should not be too much synthetic. It should be natural and be rapidly soluble in suitable vehicle. Means whenever we prepare in particular formulation, we use sunscreen ingredients. Already I said that whether it is in zinc oxide, whether it is an oxybenzone. So whatever the sunscreen ingredients we use, that ingredients should be soluble in a particular vehicle. Means suppose we are preparing a cream type, okay, so that particular ingredients means the sunscreen ingredient, it should be soluble whether it is in water or whether in oil. If suppose we are preparing a sunscreen preparation with an oil type, so it should be soluble in oil. Okay, so in particular base or in particular vehicle, that sunscreen ingredient, it should be soluble. Okay, so those are the particular characteristics of sunscreen preparations, that it should absorb, it should be resistant, it should be stable for a long time, capable of retaining its character for a longer time, and it should be stable for under condition of use, non-stain, and it should not be absorbed by the skin. It should be natural and it should be rapidly absorbed, sorry, rapidly soluble in suitable vehicle. Okay, so these are the introduction part. So we discuss about the sun protection. What are the various UV rays which will be harmful, more harmful, which will be not that much of harmful. Okay, we know that UV A rays will be not that much of harmful compared to UVB and UVC. UVC is in most harmful, but because of the atmosphere or ozone layer, we will get protected. Okay, UVB rays is mainly create sunburn effect. Okay, so various problems that is generated or created by UVB rays on UVA rays. Our main aim is to protect the skin from UVB rays, because whenever any person will be exposed more time in sunlight, okay, so there is a chance on UVA rays will get effect. UVA rays will be get effect when the skin will be exposed to longer time. Okay, UVB rays, it can be give effect whether it is in short duration of time or longer duration of time. Mainly the UVB rays, it causes more harmful effect, okay, compared to UVA rays. Okay, so our sunscreen product will be main aim is to protect the skin from UVB rays. So how it will be get protected? By make that sunscreen product will give a protective layer over the skin, then it will absorb the medium rays and allow the higher wavelength rays. Then next one is some uh, particular ingredients which will accelerate the tanning. That also, that is one of the uh, way to protect the skin. And last one is if any person having already sunburn, so we can protect it uh, by using various uh, antihistamines like hydrocarbons and fluorocarbons to avoid the inflammation. And we discussed about the various ideal characteristics of an sunscreen product. Okay, so our next session we are going to discuss about various formulations of sunscreen products. Okay, thank you.